right, we're here with another 3D printer review, and I have my niece with me, Lydia.
Hi.
Yeah, so this is her first YouTube video, because you're 14 now, so it's okay for YouTube. So yeah, so this is a 3D printer that we have to put together. So I thought it might be cool to see how like a younger person reacts to it. Looks like it's got some test filament and all the screws. See how there's a bunch of screws this time? So it's going to take, it's harder to assemble than the other ones. Oh, here's the instructions. Oh, it looks really complicated. Here, want to hold that? So let's see what we got. Looks like a bunch of individual parts here. So does Bud like the new toys that your mom brought him?
Yeah.
That's good. I think that's what holds the filament. I think since this is a kit, they can put it in a smaller box. I think that's an advantage because it makes it a little cheaper. So normally with these Anycubics, it's basically in two pieces. There's like the vertical part, and then there's the bottom portion. This one's in more pieces than that, so we have to do more assembly. Can you find the part of the instructions that's like the start? So did you squish Bud?
Yeah.
Did he go, oof? Can you like move that box out from under? Yeah, just set it on the floor for now. Oh, this must, yeah, this is the extruder part. So that's the part that has the thing that squishes out the plastic. Oh, I think this is supposed to come up and out. Okay, so here's the base. Can you move the foam that way? Towards the, yeah. Okay. Oh, looks like they got some spacers underneath.
I mean, from the start, so yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was just kind of confused where to start, because yeah.
All right. Looks like here's all the cables here. And a tube. Yeah, you didn't even eat the cheese curds in the cheese curd video.
Yeah, because I didn't like cheese curds at the time.
But now you do?
Yeah.
So I believe this is the front toward me. Left and right, okay. So it looks like we have to install these two beams first. So this is a beam, and I believe this is a beam.
I don't think that's a beam.
You think so? Whoa, what was that? Oh, here's the, a little baby control screen. Look at the little baby control screen, see? So these look like the first two beams. See how they're the same length?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, I bet those go like that. So let's see what to do next.
I mean, like see how like that one is like facing downward, so you put that one down.
Oh, because it's got this thing on it? Okay.
Yeah, because like it's saying it's like.
Oh, okay. So that one goes like this, right?
It goes like by the on button, like right there, I think.
Yeah, I think. Well, see how there's a groove for it. I think I'm the only person in this neighborhood without a dog. Bud would probably hate it if he had a dog brother or sister. Does it say what number screw? Oh, M5 by 45. So, do you know what the metric system is?
No.
Really? All right, so I think they should find the screws that are labeled M4.
This one.
Well, in the bags here, I mean.
Ooh.
Did they give us a tool? A wrench? It looks like there should be two bags of these. Can you see if there's another bag with the same screws in it?
I mean, there's two screws in there, so yeah.
Well, right, but there's going to be one on either side, so that'd be a total of 4.
No, it doesn't look like it.
Really? Oh, those
they're
are 25
labeled
by
different.
2. Yeah, they're different lengths. Okay, so here's the 25 by 2. So the 45 millimeter long ones go on the left.
So one goes over there, and then yeah.
Okay, now they have, okay, they've got spring washers, which are,
Those things.
yes. Shouldn't there, it says there's 3 of them, but don't we need like more? Oh, here they are. Here's the ones we need. Does that look more like the image?
Yeah, that looks more like the image. Because
Okay.
it says 26. They're labeled.
Make sure we don't lose these on the floor, otherwise they'll be gone forever. Well, oh look. See how there's different depths?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right, so the 45s.
45.
Where did the 45 screws go? Are they under here? Oh, there they are. Want to take them out of that bag? Oh, I think this slit here, that's, I think that slit is how it figures out where the 0 is, or like the base, you know. Oh, they're over here, duh. Okay, see these rings here?
Yeah.
Slip 2 of those onto each screw. Oh, look, the toolbox is on the bottom of the printer.
Toolbox.
That has the tools that we need. Ah, well, there you go. Well, that's where you find the toolbox, everyone. All right, hand me one. All right, so it's got the thing on it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't put those things on unless it tells us to.
They don't go there.
They don't?
No, the other one goes down there. And then, yeah, they're different.
Oh, they're different lengths. Good catch. See, you're helping already.
Of course I am. Because I'm actually paying attention to it.
All right, so why is it a different screw, do you think?
Because it's shorter.
Yep, that's correct. All right, do we have is this the 25?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Good catch, Lydia. The tool in that box is going to look like a metal L shape. Good thing I have you here to help me with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Yep.
These ones?
Yep, pull it out of the bag. It's going to be the big fat one. So I think the idea with this printer is since you have to assemble it yourself, it saves you money. So the printer is cheaper because you as a customer have to do more work. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so which beam goes on the right-hand side? I think it's this one because there's nothing on it. See how it's blank?
That's what it says.
Okay. Okay, so see how this one has a groove in the back?
Yeah.
So the other one will put the groove in the back as well, facing away from us. All right, you got that 45 screw? They really didn't teach you about the metric system in school?
No, I don't think they did.
Oh, man, when I was a kid, they wouldn't shut up about it.
Maybe it looks like the groove's facing that way. Oh wait, never mind. It's facing that way. Yeah.
Well, remember how this one had that piece of plastic facing us?
Oh yeah, never mind.
That's how we know which way it goes. But yeah, they should have had something that says the groove is behind you or something. How about after this, I'll buy you guys some Domino's. How about that? The fanciest pizza ever made.
Yeah.
There is one in here. What's the next step after these beams?
That circle thing right there.
Your brain probably works better than mine because you're younger and you don't drink. Oh, they attach back here. Those screws, see?
Yeah.
All right, so this, like that, does that look right?
Yeah, it looks right.
All right, so these are the M20s?
Yeah.
Okay. So that number on the screw, 4 is the diameter of the screw. Can you find the next smaller one that fits this screw? The tool, it should be in that wrench kit. Oh yeah, pull it out of the bag. Yeah, there's 2 threaded holes through this beam. I think the first one is what attaches the Z. That one was already installed. The Z-axis motor's in place. What's the next step? Install anti-backlash nut. Okay. So that's going to go on the top of this. Oh, okay. So that's a piece of plastic. Is it?
No.
See if you can find it.
I think it's over by you.
Anti-backlash nut. That's interesting. Okay, so it looks like it goes like that. Oh, it's threaded too. See how it threads on?
Yeah.
That's different. Does it say how far to put it on?
Although,
I mean on the top.
I think only that much. See, like.
Okay, I think that's right.
It only goes like to that. You have to put it down further a bit.
All right. So these will hold. These basically connect the motor to this rod, this metal rod, and see how it's
supposed to be facing me, like, because it looks like that.
Oh, well, they're just saying to do it from behind, which we are. Remember, this is the back of the unit.
Oh, yeah.
It's okay. This one's kind of put one washer on each screw.
All right.
Yeah.
That's what I
So
got.
this looks like it's symmetrical. Oh yeah. See, I think the holes. Yeah. The holes line up like that. Can you find the wrench that fits these screws? Oh, this is a little harder to get at because that motor's right there. See that? Can you hold this assembly just so it doesn't? Yeah, just hold it flat against it like that. Yep, that's right. So if this thing works, what should we print?
I don't know.
Well, we have to test something with it.
Dwayne.
The what?
Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
You want to print the? You mean Black Adam now in theaters?
Yeah.
All right. Continue to hold that.
It's a bit loose.
I know. I didn't tighten it all the way in.
Oh, okay.
I always get him confused with Aquaman.
How?
You're right. That is silly. I shouldn't. Install
only need
synchronous
2?
belt print head. All right. So it looks like we have to attach the belt onto this. You gonna give it a try?
guess.
See how the teeth interface with that pulley? Alright.
I think it's supposed to go like this.
Yeah, it's going to connect to something here. Slide the printhead module into the profile from right to left. That's this guy. Okay, so the motor is facing, this is facing away from us. So this goes like that. Oh, I think the belt goes underneath. Is that right? Yeah, I think the belt hides in here. See that? Okay, install the Z-axis passive block. Okay. Is that this thing? Z-axis passive block, which is this. Oh, this is going to go on the other side. So, all right, so this... Oh, it looks like this attaches with the same kind of screws, see? Is it a 16? It should be, okay.
It says it.
Don't you think we should print a 3D toy for Bud?
I don't think that'd work.
You don't think he'd like that? All right, I need one more of those 16s.
There's that one.
Okay.
It doesn't have a washer though.
Oh, it doesn't? There weren't enough washers?
No, there's only 3 washers.
Oh, that's odd. Does it say to put washers on this step?
Yes, there's a washer right there.
Yeah, that's odd. It says there's only one screw there. All right, well, I guess I'll only install one for now. See this, Lydia?
Hmm?
See, we didn't install the screw because the screw's going to go through that as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to go through 2 things. Okay, so install the X tensioner. Okay. Oh, I have to disassemble the X tensioner. Oh, man. This is difficult.
I mean, this is off Etsy, so I don't know if it's like a link.
Well, we should be able to download the 3D model of the rock. Let's flip this around like that.
Then you would have to like put it onto block with this.
Well, I'm sure that file already exists.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think, oh yeah, this keeps the belt tight. So see how this goes around here?
Yeah.
Can you move your left hand, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Slightly screw and then, okay, yeah. So then we put this over the top. Wait, I think we have to screw in the nut first. Can you give me some slack on that? Let the belt come toward me and make it slack. Oh, of course someone's mowing their lawn. Why can't everyone have a quiet lawnmower like mine?
Yours is quiet?
Yeah, it's electric.
Well, that's why. Because everyone can't afford it.
Oh, wow, thanks. It was only like $400. Is that a lot for a lawnmower? I don't know.
Maybe.
Have you ever bought a lawnmower? How would you know?
I'm a child. I don't need a lawnmower.
Someday you will. That's what I thought when I was a kid. I'm like, I'll never need a lawnmower. Actually, I don't think I ever thought that as a kid. I was like, video games. Okay, now it's in place. So now we should be able to, if I screw this clockwise, it should tighten it. See how that works? So that motor makes it go left and right using this belt. See, belts with teeth like this are called timing belts. Like cars have them too. Okay, so I think we're supposed to take this whole thing and go like this. It calls it the Z-axis moving kit.
Well, now it looks like it works somewhat.
I mean, that's kind of what it should look like,
how
right?
is it like gonna like
Well, we have to attach it.
reach the bottom?
Well, that's what the screw is for. Blah, 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 blah. Rotate the anti-backlash nut until it aligns with the upper screw holes. Oh, I see. So this plastic thing gets screwed to this. So I think we're gonna need, yep. See how it says M3 by 8 by 2 of them? Can you find those screws, please? Yeah, so you don't have to spend
Like
all
Star
the...
Wars,
Okay.
something like
They're
that.
not that expensive. They're like 40 something.
Well,
Some of them are like 100,
so
like
they're I think they're
like a
expensive,
plant.
but-
That's like
Okay.
100.
Okay, well your birthday present, Lydia, for me is whatever Lego sets you can find less than $80. How about that? Okay.
I said,
So M3, which means it's going to be a skinny. Oh, here it is. M3 by 8 by 2.
where'd you find that?
You're using my eyes.
Oh my god, I'm blind.
Okay.
You shouldn't be blind
Now,
yet.
now that I got my
No, because these
I'll
were
be back,
flipped over,
okay?
and I didn't know.
All right.
Mom, maybe give me glasses too.
So Lego set and glasses. Yeah, I was going to get you some Hot Topic gift cards, but I didn't feel like going to the mall because I'm a 46-year-old man.
Yes.
This goes down into it, and that's how it knows, because there's a opto sensor in there, kind of like the garage door openers, how they've got the things that doesn't squish people. It's just like that. Okay, we need the M3x5, so they're probably gonna be kind of small. Oh, I think that's these guys.
Yeah.
We're probably running out of screws, which is good.
We only have like 2 left.
Okay. Oh, hold on, Lydia. Put that one back in the bag so we remember what it is called. Okay?
Alright.
So see what I'm going to do? I'm going to put 2 of them in. That way the part is aligned properly, and then I'll tighten them. Because if you tighten one really tight, then the other one might not go in. So we want this to be straight, because that is going to go into that slit. That's how it knows it's at the bottom. Well, one of the ways that it knows. So this goes down into that slit and breaks a beam. That's how it knows where it is vertically, along with the inductive sensor. Like an inductive sensor basically detects the presence of ferrous metal, which means it is magnetic, which means it has iron in it. So this is the 16mm screws. Looks like 4 of them. Hey, why don't you put them in the holes? You said you can't build anything in Minecraft. Well, it's time to start building.
I can't.
Sure you can.
Like, I'm not an expert builder, like some people.
Well, you're not born an expert builder. You have to learn, right? Like when Luke had to learn how to be a Jedi from Yoda. Like that. And Yoda was like, "Suck you do. Learn the ways of the Force you must." Okay, so we attach the screen with 2 screws. Now, let's see, material rack, filament holder. So we need 2 M4x6 screws. Well, I closed the door so we didn't hear the lawnmower. Oh, I think this goes here so it can detect. See this switch?
Yeah.
That's how it knows when the thing comes all the way over.
It sounds like a mouse button.
Yeah, I think we have to connect the cable before we do it. Connect the cables at the corresponding positions marked. Oh. Okay, so this one, okay. So I think this would come over here. All right, so X-axis limit switch, that makes sense. There's 2 of them. One drives the motor and the other one does the sensor. So this one plugs in like this. So are you gonna be a programmer when you grow up?
Probably not.
Why not?
Because
You just don't want to do it.
no, I don't know how to. And
That's why you get to learn.
Why do you want me to be a programmer?
Because you can make a lot of money.
Okay.
There's a little slit in this box that's meant to hold the wire from the X-axis sensor. That's so it doesn't hit the belt. Then it comes out the bottom. So then I think, yeah, then you do this. What am I bumping on the bottom? Oh, is there a little clip? Oh yeah, there is. Extruder. So this motor actually is what moves the plastic. E0, that means extruder 0. Actually, let me put this around like that. It's probably better. We can wrangle this with zip ties when we're done. What's this guy say? Z. Oh, that's the Z switch. So that's going to go over here. So that's probably a Z motor, which I'm guessing is this guy. Yeah, so that drives the Z motor. Oh, so she's going to get you a bat. Are you going to get Batman or Carnage?
Carnage.
Is that Lego sets?
Yeah, they're like the heads of them. I'm getting Carnage head.
Oh, she can build like a big giant head.
Yeah, my dad has like a Darth Vader one.
Oh yeah, so it said to loosen these screws because I think we need to adjust everything. Fun. Rotate the coupling, reduce the X-axis height, and move the print head to the far right. Place 2 equal height objects between the platforms. So you know what we got to do, Lydia? We have to make this line up to the print bed. But the print bed's wobbling too. You know, hey, we could use 2 Pepsi cans. They're the same height. Don't hug me, I'm scared. No, I've never heard of it.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
So apparently we're supposed to use 2 equal height objects. So we got 2 Pepsi cans. This is the most advanced way you can possibly level something ever in the history of mankind.
Oh my.
All right, after determining the level, adjust the D-type wheel as shown. So that's probably going to be an eccentric wheel. So remember how it was loose before? So I think this is the part where we tighten it. Once we make sure it's all straight. So There should be like a wrench type looking thing in there. Did you find it? This is what it's talking about. It calls it a D-type wheel. The proper term would be eccentric nut. Kind of like me. Right? No? I was trying to be self-deprecating. So yeah, we're basically, now that we have it allegedly level, we're tightening it. That's still kind of moving though, up and down. There, see that? See how it's not wobbling now?
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm going to retighten these 4 screws. Even if you're hungry, do not eat the lubrication.
Well, yeah, I might just.
Mmm.
Yummy.
Nom, nom, nom.
lubrication. What's it used for?
It's to lubricate the shaft. D-shaped wheels. Y-axis, which is this. Shake the printing platform manually.
Shake it.
Shake it. Oh yeah. That was that wobble we saw. Oh, so we gotta adjust the underneath of that too. Okay, so. Because I know you want to print your Dwayne Johnson octopus,
Yes,
right?
I do.
I mean, who wouldn't want to do that?
Someone that doesn't want to print a Dwayne the Rock octopus.
I mean, I can't imagine anyone who wouldn't want to do that. Well, the neighbor stopped mowing, so we were able to open the doors back up.
He might hear you. Careful.
He'd be like, "How dare you say that about me?"
I'll mow my lawn again.
Yeah, just for that, I'm going to mow some more. Oh, I guess an eccentric bolt is a bolt where the center point of it is not center. So by tightening it, you can make it, it's basically like a way to tighten things. That feels pretty good. All right, so we need to remove this clasp here and then put this tube in here. Is that your printer dance?
I guess, yeah. You were making up like what would Bud do if he made a song? Like a rap song. It was funny. Yeah, it does.
A Bud rap song?
Yeah.
Okay, so the extruder is already pre-built. So here's where the plastic comes in. It's just like one little piece of filament, or tubing, I mean. Tighten the belt tensioners if they're loose. Okay, that's what this was. I think they should be pretty good though now. Another one over here. Oh, that one's kind of loose. Okay, I'm going to switch the voltage to 115 because we live in America.
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 All right, want to plug in the power port? All right, got it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Not bad, chair.
Oh, just 1 second. Let me just make sure we got everything. All right, go ahead and switch it on, Lydia.
It's making noise, so that's good, I guess.
So I don't think this one has a touch screen. No, it doesn't. Okay, so use the knob to select menu on the settings page and select leveling and auto leveling. Okay. All right, there's menu. Push in the knob. Auto leveling. Oh, here it goes. Let's see if it finds the home. Okay, that switch worked. Now what? Do something, printer. Homing Y failed. Oh, did we forget? I'm sorry. Did I forget to plug in the Y motor? Okay, switch off the power. I forgot to plug in the Y motor. So if you do forget to plug in a motor, turn the machine off before you plug it in, because you should never plug in a live stepper motor circuit. If it works like the other printers, it's going to do like 16 different tests. It's going to like test the leveling like in 16 different spots to kind of figure out the average. Okay, now it's doing the auto leveling. Yeah, it's probably going to do 16 positions. You did it wrong. Oh, look, it has USB-C. A USB-C connector.
Cool.
Yay. Okay, so let's load the filament next. Can you see the end of it? I'm going to push the lever. See how it's going to snake through all the way to the nozzle. Then I'll release the lever. Okay, so the manual movement controls on this are not super useful. Let's go prepare preheat PLA. Okay, it's gonna go up to 190 Celsius. Oh, actually, there's probably a sample file in this SD card. And remember, if you're doing one of these Anycubic printers, the SD cards always have the printer settings on them. So when you need to configure Cura, put the SD card into your computer. They always give you an SD card adapter to use with that. So. Yeah, there we go. A little bit of filament's coming out now. Menu, print from SD card. Oh, look, an owl. Let's give it a shot.
Owl?
Yeah, there's always an owl on here. So now it's basically going to run a file off of the SD card. So that'll be our first test print. Oh, I still need to zip tie the cables in the back. Here, let's... Don't do this at home, kids. Oh, no! The plug was loose. Oh, wow. It has a resume print.
Why?
Yeah, the screen says resume print. All right, let's see if this works. Yeah, I meant to do that on purpose to show the feature, right?
I think you
Linnea?
did.
Oh, yeah.
Nah.
Yeah, I don't know if the camera caught that. Yeah, the screen said resume print, question mark, and I clicked OK. Oh, it looks like the Z got messed up. Okay, I'm gonna stop it. Oh, I hit no instead of yes. Yeah, see how it didn't stick? Yeah, I did try to resume it, but it, the Z was all off. I'm gonna try, well, Z-offset wasn't set to anything. Okay, this screen isn't as useful as the screen on the touch screen is better. This one takes a lot of clicks. Let's try the owl again.
The owl is being...
Yeah, the Z-axis is way off. I had to adjust the Z-offset manually a couple times. It does say to do that in the instructions. However, unlike the other Anycubics, it doesn't actually put the nozzle over into the center and then allow you to adjust the Z so you can see if like a piece of paper slides under it. You just have to like arbitrarily change the number, which probably isn't the greatest way to do it. So I went to -0.5. So basically, if the filament's not sticking, you want to go have a lower number for the Z offset, or if the filament's sticking too well, or if the nozzle's so close that it can barely extrude, then you want to increase the Z offset to make it a higher number. Yeah, so I guess, yeah, because a positive Z would be this way and a negative Z would be this way. So if it's not sticking, which was my problem, I lowered the Z offset down, negative. Well, the layers seem to be sticking. This owl is probably going to take a couple hours to print, but I guess I can just let it go. And now we're in my analog basement. This is a PEI bed, which means it's magnetic and flexible. But once it cools, the part just comes right off. There's really no effort required. This is printed with a brim. Yeah, we'll take a close-up look at the print quality, although at first glance it looks pretty good. If you put the printer together and you don't have like the belts tight enough or something's loose, that will definitely affect print quality. So if there's any anomalies, that's on me. Or I guess I can blame my niece maybe. Actually, before I do that, I want to maybe start another print. So, oh, they actually have a spring-loaded micro USB. They actually have a spring-loaded SD card slot. That's an improvement, along with the USB-C connector for data. So that part of the printer, I'd say that's a major improvement over the previous Anycubics. Yeah, this screen is, I would say, a major step down from the other printers I've used from Anycubic. Not only is the screen smaller, but it doesn't have touch screen, and then you have to use the knob to navigate, which, I mean, I've worked with other printers that have like a rotary encoder click-in knob, but this one seemed a little obtuse. A big fat cat snuck into my secret lair! Now it is time to squish that cat. Just squish that cat. All you need to know is squish that cat. Now we just made friends with this nice little cat. Here's the SD card that came with the printer. Again, you always want to make sure you keep the SD card. It's going to be in a little baggie. You can use it to print the test owl. And, oh, actually, there's the owl right there. Okay, so obviously you want the English files. All right, so we're going to jump to the user manual. Okay, it looks like there's two of them here. The assembly instructions and then the user manual. I didn't see the user, I don't think there was a user manual in the box. Oh yeah, because usually the one in the box says, oh, here's how you do the basic setup. But obviously this thing has an extended setup. So I'm assuming this will tell us how to hook it up to Kira. Well, we already have Kira installed, so I'll go ahead and load that. All right, so once again, it looks like we have to put this in as a custom FFF printer. I really wish they didn't include files that would just do it automatically instead of having to do these steps manually. All right, so I'm going to switch windows here. I'm going to put Kira over here. I'm going to move the instructions to the other window. So we're going to want to go to add a printer. And it is not a network printer. You want a custom FFF. All right, so this is the Anycubic Kobra Go, as opposed to Cobra Kai, which is allegedly the greatest show ever made. Oh, crap! I hit the button too many times. Bud the cat goes from needy to ultra needy when he hears me talking in another room. He's like, Ben is definitely in there. Why isn't he paying attention to me? All right, manage printers. Okay, so this one's 222 by 250. I think that was the same size as one of the other printers I worked on. Okay, so I'm just going to machine settings. So you had to put this in manually. Again, the instructions tell you to do this. 222, 222, 250. I still can't believe my niece didn't know what the metric system was. My tax dollars at not work. Okay, extruder 1, it's going to be a 1.75 millimeter nozzle setting. Nozzle size is 0.4. That's pretty standard. I think that's everything. Actually, no, for a cheaper printer like that, having a heated bed is actually kind of a boon, so that's good. I was looking at the price of it. I want to say on sale that printer is this printer is like $189. It's not bad, but however, but you're a nice person, but for like $100 more, you could get one of the mostly assembled printers. So I guess a lot of this would depend on, hey, how much is $100 worth to you? All right, so let's go accessibility controllers, Xbox One Core, 3D files. This is a common one I always do, analog cap. All right, what profiles do we have? Actually, do we have to set the profiles up separately? Oh yes, we have to import the configuration file. All right, so that's also going to be on the SD card. So configure settings, visibility, profiles, import, and then it's going to be on the SD card. So let's import for PLA. Oh, there's a whole bunch of settings here. I guess we're going to use, wait, are these from the same ones? Oh yeah, no, these are all different ones. Okay, activate profile. Okay, so now over here. Well, these must be the default. But that wouldn't be the suggested settings though. Yeah, because if I do draft, it's going to override those settings. So I'm going to go to Kobra suggested settings, Kobra Grow. Why do I keep saying Kobra Grow? Kobra Go. It's probably because there's already a K in there. Kobra Go suggested parameters are PLA version 1. Great. And then I guess I would have to do these manually. Oh, can I dumb it down? Oh yeah, here we go. We can dumb it down. Okay, so let's go 0.2, infill of 20. All right, see adhesion. I'm going to want to do that manually. Let's go. I really wish they'd make a new version of Simplify 3D. I'm going to do a skirt. I don't like brims. Enable printing of a brim or raft. Oh, yeah, because a skirt isn't technically a form of adhesion. It's more about priming the nozzle. So I guess since I selected skirt, that's not technically adhesion. But if I printed raft, or I selected raft, I bet it would say, yep, there's adhesion. Well, I don't want a raft. What's our speed? What's our default speed? 60 millimeters a second? That's kind of slow. I'm going to speed it up. I'm Keanu Reeves. Whoa. 20 minutes. That's not too bad. All right, I'm going to save this to the SD card, and then we can give it a print. SD card installed. Yeah, well, actually, before I do that... Wait, that's the temperature of the nozzle? Okay. I don't like this screen. It's just kind of dumb. Like, look at this. I'm trying to scroll over to the SD card. There's no touch screen. But I can't. See, this is a situation where I think you'd be better off having it hooked up via USB, which we can also experiment with. Okay, so there's what I just exported. No, I selected it because I didn't want to start the print. Yeah, Bud's upset too. What are you doing, Bud? Are you trying to grab things off the ceiling? Let's take a closer look at this thing. It's a cat! Bud, you don't even hardly fit on my desk anymore. Where are you going? Yeah, give me those cute points. Do you have a nice white chin? Nice white chin. Deadly killer claws. Bud beans. I actually do take a little bit of umbrage with this being the default test model. The log is cool, but it also looks like printer errors, even though it's part of the model. The back of the owl is pretty smooth. There's a little bit of ringing. You can see a little, well, I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it like right there. There's some deviation. Other than that, it's pretty good. Yeah, some of his feathers, there's some overhang issue, but it's printing in air, so what do you expect? A little bit of overhang droop under his eye right there, but you know, that's to be expected. I wanted to make a 8mm movie, and by that I mean 8mm film. Well, not a movie, but like a short film. Yeah, his back is pretty smooth. So I was looking on B&H, and you can still buy Super 8 film. It doesn't have sound. It's just there's well, okay. There's 8mm, and then Super 8 was a slightly larger. It was the same size film, but has slightly larger exposure area, and it had a magnetic strip on the side for sound. But now when you buy it, there's no strip. Yeah, you can see some ringing there. Anyway, last time I looked, the price of the film jumped up like 10 bucks, so it went from like $29 for 2 minutes. No, it's 2.5 minutes at 24 frames a second. So for $29, you get 2.5 minutes of shoot time. But now that's like $34 because I think it's closer to 40. So now the film went up in price, and also, guess what? It's out of stock. I mean, it's cool they still make it, but yeah, I really wanted to do some test footage like this fall. Just like shoot one reel in some various outdoor daytime lighting conditions. In the woods south of my house, there's like a big woodland marsh. I always thought it'd be funny, like, to be a super troll and go to like the Madison town meeting and say, I propose you tear down this wetland and build a road so I can drive to Menards even faster. Because yeah, if that wasn't there, I could drive right to Menards. I wouldn't have to go on Stone Road. And then it would be like one of those comedy movies, and like there'd be like an environmentalist in the back row, and they'd faint after they hear my proposal. Yeah, it looks pretty good. All right, so I'm gonna print one of my standard pieces that I always print. It's gonna be one of these analog cap things. So we'll see how it turns out. Then we can do the usual where we test how it interfaces with a part printed from another printer. Yeah, so I'd say so far, assembly was pretty easy. The belt part, the X-axis belt was a little tricky because you had to like give it a lot of slack before you could pull it tight, and then you had to tighten it. So I guess just make sure you tighten everything really well and give yourself about, I don't know, 2 hours to assemble it. Make sure you get all the screw sizes right, because my niece noticed some things that I didn't, so I'm glad I had an extra pair of eyes. Well, because she probably doesn't assume things about 3D printers like I do. Like when I assumed things about that Apple IIc power supply, and now Bud's sitting in the back of my chair. All right, here is the piece I just printed. Pretty decent. There's some, for lack of a better term, mottling, like a motley crew. Kind of shows up under the flashlight. The first layer is a fairly elephant footed, so maybe I need to readjust that Z-offset. Yeah, because I mean this piece, it's actually supposed to have a little bit of a, is it a chamfer or fillet? Fillet, no, it's a fillet because a fillet is like a fish. Yeah, so it's a chamfer or chamfer. Let's call the whole thing off. But it's a little compressed. So I think I adjusted the Z a little too far, because you remember when I was out in the garage, it wasn't down far enough. Yeah. Let's interface it with this. Sure, it'll fit just fine. Yeah. I'm printing, speaking of that, I'm printing a torture test print on the Flash Forgery in white. I will print the same test on the Kobra Go here in just a little bit. I think I'm going to print one more of these after I readjust the Z though. Bud, my zero production value basement is already loud enough without your incessant random mewing. Like, if I don't let you in, you mew. If I let you in, you mew. I just can't win. You're tearing me apart, Bud, Lisa. Yeah, look at this. I've got this on the, to move the Y-axis. What? What if this uses a different CPU? Well, no, I think it has the trinamic drivers because it's still silent. I don't think we want to go to Mandarin. Or leveling. Oh, Z-offset. Okay, so negative. Okay, so since it compressed too much, I want to reduce the offset. So I want it to be a positive value, or I want to go in the positive direction. So let's go halfway. Let's go 0.25. Oh, I can't. Oh no. It's okay. I guess it's only even numbers. Okay, fine. 0.26 millimeters offset. Negative 0.26 millimeters. Okay, bud, I'm gonna need you to guard this print with your life. And if you guard it successfully, I will give you greenies. Look how big Bud is. I gotta make you a vet appointment, and the vet's gonna be like, your cat is too, look at this. Big old Bud curls. Big old Bud curls. That's a flabby tabby. Flabby tabby. You're kind of in a mood, aren't you? What time is it? 4:14? Oh, I gotta finish doing leaves outside once the batteries recharge. Are you in a rare state today? You know what? I'm actually gonna stop the print. Okay, hopefully it moves out of the way. When I looked at that up close, I could see the lines more than the texture of the bed. So I think I'm gonna adjust the leveling again. I'm gonna go, okay, let's have the distance. So what would that be? That would be like 375. Let's see about changing filaments. Prepare, there we go. Unload filament. Nozzle, too cold. Auto set temperature, well, duh. I'm gonna load some white filament. Unload filament, press button. Oh, the filament is being extracted by the motor, okay. I'm gonna squeeze the lever and just, well, I mean, it is extruding it. Oh, I can feel the teeth marks on the plastic, that's good. All right, press button to stop. Oh, that's what happened, look. The blob that came out of the extruder head, it couldn't quite get through this nozzle. So when I pulled it hard, this came loose. All right, now I've got it on load filament. So I guess I'll put this back in. Bring in the white. Get to the teeth. Come on. Oh, I had to open up the jaw a little bit for it to grasp. Okay, so now that it's through, I should be able to just open up the jaw and push it all the way to the extruder. There we go. Stop process. All right, so let's print the torture test. It's gonna take about 3 hours. Okay, the new one is the one on the left. Let me zoom in here with the, well, I guess I could digitally zoom in or I could just mechanically zoom in. Yeah, so you can actually see the chamfer on this one. It's 45 degrees. So that was what, negative 0.38 millimeters. So that's the big thing to think about with the Anycubic printers that have the inductive sensor. It'll take a Z reading, but that's just kind of like a base distance from the nozzle to the print head or print bed. You then have to manually dial in the exact Z height. And in this case, I had to offset it by negative 0.38 millimeters, as opposed to the Anycubics where they have the pressure sensor, and those pretty much give you the right depth all the time. You don't have to adjust it otherwise, or you don't have to adjust it afterwards. That yellow thing there, that's the inductive sensor. So just keep in mind, if you have an Anycubic printer with an inductive sensor, you have to manually adjust the Z gap. Okay, it's a work week now. Actually, it's a week after we assembled the printer. I'm going to print some parts for my single-headed controllers because that's something I build all the time, so might as well test the printer doing that. It's using a support structure in Cura, which I don't really like how Cura does support structures, but it's the default. I could make a profile in Simplify 3D to work with this printer. I just don't want to take the time to do that. Well, the infill on this looks pretty low. I set it to 15%, but there's like some huge gaps in the cross section. Let's move the Y forward with the knob. Seems like the more you move it, the more it should move with each iteration, but it's all like in tenths of a millimeter. Ooh, actually let's not. It shifted during the print. That's not good. Okay, this time it printed correctly. I actually reduced the tension on the Y belt. That could have caused a problem. All right, so this is just default support in Cura. Here's an external trigger piece. Let's see if the support material is more reasonable. It's weird, it's going like right up to the edge of the model. That's one thing I like about Simplify 3D better than Cura. There's a lot more control by default over the support material. Whereas with Cura, it requires plugins. All right, okay, maybe I could try printing it again, but with a lower infill density. That was a lot easier to remove than the other piece that I just printed. Speaking of printing, check this out. I hooked up a USB-C to an extender and then all the way over to my computer, which of course begs the question, why not just roll the table over to the computer? That's a lot of work. All right, I'm gonna try printing directly from Cura over USB. I like using USB because you don't have to like pull the SD card in and out. Oh, you should just get Octopi. Well, it's kind of hard to get octopi in a world where you can't find pies. Surely someone has ported that to the ESP32, right? They probably have, and don't call me Shirley. I've adjusted or changed the support structure on this one. It was grid before, and I'm making it lines, which is more similar to what I have on the Simplify 3D. Here's the same part printed again. This was over USB. Different support structure. Oh, that came out really easily. I think this was line support. Yes. So it puts a hash at the bottom, but then the supports themselves are lines. The torture test prints. Okay, this one's off the Flash Forgery. Had some lifting issues here. The overhangs worked great. There's also some overhangs here. These pillars are pretty good. I think these are supposed to show if there's like too much heat. Because sometimes if the printer is just, well, in this case it would have done this and gone back and forth, but if you just print one thin thing like this, there'll be too much heat on it and it'll kind of blob up, even with a part cooling fan. What I usually do is, if I'm printing something that small, I'll just print multiple ones so the head moves around and that way it doesn't get as overheated. Okay, so let's take a look at the one off of the Kobra Go. This is pretty clean. I think it's actually cleaner. Yeah, if you look, my Flash Forgery is under extruding right there. These didn't fare as well. See, there's a little bit more deviation there, and there's also some stringing in between. Otherwise, not too bad. Like if you look at the actual filled-in surface, the extrusion amount looks pretty much perfect. Now, if the belts weren't tight enough, you might get some non-circular circles, which I guess would be ellipses. These overhangs all worked. I think the overhangs are a little less saggy on my Flash Forge, although the Flash Forge, I think this printed at 60 millimeters a second. My Flash Forge is like 160, I want to say. It prints way faster, so you're going to have better overhangs because of that. The bottom surface looks great. It's very consistent. You can see a few lines here. Well, I can see them. I don't know if the camera can. What's this supposed to be, like a little building in the corner? Anycubic Go is a lot slower than a Flash Forgery, but the Flash Forgery is about speed more than accuracy. Yeah, I would say this is a pretty acceptable result for a $200 printer that I assembled myself. Here is a Benchy, of course. Check the bottom of it. The text should be a little deeper, so I think the compression of the first layer still might be a little higher than it needs to be. This side looks pretty good. I did notice, yeah, there are some zits on this side, right about there. There's also like a line, a couple lines here that look, yeah, it looks like, see, this one looks a little bit off, but it looks like it recovered. Is that where it was starting the layer? I think I should probably adjust the belts a little bit more. If you look at about halfway up this doorway, it seems like it's a little bit off, like maybe the X or the Y got a little bit off and recovered. The smokestack looks really nice. How to tighten the belts is probably kind of like, yeah, I don't know, maybe there should be a little bit more information about that. Like, you don't want them to be too tight because then they might stall. And if they're too loose, then you're going to get a lot of ringing because it's not going to be accurate. So what's the happy medium? I wonder if they could put in like a gauge of some kind. Overall, the quality of this Benchy it's pretty decent, although, yeah, there's some waver right there in that layer. Although you'd think you'd also see it in the front. Alright, here's the version with the belts, actually it's not tightened, loosened a little bit. Everyone's been tightening their belt in this economy. See, it doesn't matter if the office went to Peacock. It lives on in our oral heritage. Yeah, it's interesting. It has some of the same defects as before, so I wonder if that's more to do with the slicer. There are also still a few styrations here. I'm doing a print now that takes up pretty much the whole bed so we can see how flat it is. It does seem like this side, see how it's kind of squished? It's a little low. Actually, it's quite low. Maybe I should re-Z this before I continue. Ah, okay. That's looking better. Yeah, so I moved this from my garage to my basement. So whenever you move a 3D printer, especially if you like take it someplace with a car, you should definitely re-Z it when you get to the new location. Having some adherence issues. Here's another print to take a look at. The walls look pretty good on this one. It does still have a little bit of elephant footing. Well, that's weird because you can see the lines on the bottom. It's not just straight texture, but see the compression? That's at negative 0.5 millimeters. Maybe I should try this again at maybe like 0 millimeters. Yeah, so I would say these Anycubics, I like the ones that have the nozzle pressure sensor for 0. They seem to be more consistent because then you don't have to dial in the Z. So while I think it's cool that a printer this cheap has an inductive sensor, it does take more dialing in. It's not as dead simple as the pressure sensor Anycubics. Anycubic Kobra Go. Pros. It's cheap. It's under $200 and you get features that you don't always get for that price point, such as a heated PEI bed and an inductive sensor. I would say that's a major pro. Cons, I would say there's probably more cons. You have to put it together yourself. Now, granted, it's a kit. That's to be expected. I had to put it together, but I get $100 off. For me, I'd probably rather spend another $100 and then just get a completely, well, mostly pre-assembled printer. Because normally with an Anycubic, the only thing you really have to assemble is you have to put in the 2 bolts here and here to put the main arm on. This one, you had to assemble a number of things, one of which being the X belt was a little tricky, and then you also have to dial in the eccentric nuts to make sure it prints more smoothly. So you're going to be spending time not just assembling this printer, but also dialing it in to make sure your prints are good. So time is money, so you save money, but you're going to spend more time. Then the other, I would say probably the biggest negative is the screen. Not the size, but the fact that it's not touch screen. The interface is completely different from all the other Anycubic printers. And yes, even though a lot of other printers use one knob that just rotates with a click in for navigation, compared to the other Anycubic printers, because, well, why wouldn't I compare it to the other Anycubic printers? This screen is definitely a major step down. Yeah, so there you have it. Anycubic Kobra Go. It's a pretty good kit. I was able to assemble it pretty easily with the help of my niece. I would say every other Anycubic printer I've used was easier to get dialed in and set up. Then again, they weren't kits. But I would say overall, you know, for a sub $200 price, it's a pretty decent quality printer. But I would definitely say it's an entry-level printer. But if you get one, just remember you're going to have to manually adjust the Z-offset. And another negative that I brought up, most of the other printers will actually let you do it under the nozzle. Like it'll actually go to the center, go down, then let you slide a piece of paper under for the Z-offset. This one doesn't do that. You have to basically just shotgun the value, so to speak. So one other thing, the PEI bed, it is really handy because it's super easy to remove parts. But I have also noticed, and this doesn't just apply to this printer, it applies to any printer I've used, it does take more dialing in to get the Z correct on the PEI bed. Because yes, it can remove easily, but sometimes it also doesn't stick well enough. Like when you compare that to this Anycubic Kobra Plus, it has a more standard glass bed. So yeah, sometimes the parts are harder to remove, but it seems like the first layer Z accuracy is a lot higher. So while I like the novelty of the flexible magnetic PEI bed, I think by and large, I personally, that's kind of redundant, I personally still prefer to print on glass. Well, if you like what you've seen here, there are links below, so you can go over to the Anycubic website and purchase your own Anycubic Kobra Go printer and assemble it with your own family. So yeah, check out the links below and have a happy holiday season.